Am I the butthole for losing it after my wife wanted my daughter to stop using the bathroom in the house? My wife and I have been together for 3 years. I have a daughter from my previous marriage. She's 14. I also have a stepson who tends to be rude at times but civil enough around adults. He's 16. He and his stepsister get along well. No arguing, no yelling, even better than most siblings I know, which is great, and it's quite a relief to see them loving and respecting each other. We have 2 bathrooms in the house. My daughter only uses the smaller one, since it's always available, unlike the main bathroom that my stepson and wife often use. I've recently received some money and decided to renovate the small bathroom that my daughter uses since she complained about things needing to be fixed. I started the renovation 2 days ago, while my daughter uses the main bathroom as an alternative. There were no issues until my wife pulled me aside saying my daughter's been leaving period products inside the bathroom and it wasn't right because my stepson would see them. I asked my wife for more clarification, and turns out my daughter gets rid of her used pads by putting them in the trash can inside the bathroom. I told my wife there was nothing wrong with that, so what's the problem? She gave me a look, called me an ignorant, then dropped it. This morning she looked upset and told me my stepson went inside the bathroom after my daughter got out and probably saw her used pads in the bathroom. I asked if she meant the trash can and it was confirmed. She then proceeded to tell me to ask my daughter to stop using the main bathroom even though the small one is still in the process of being renovated. I absolutely lost my crap and told her she was making a ridiculously unreasonable demand. Told her it's my daughter's house too. Where is she supposed to go if she can't use both bathrooms? We started arguing back and forth until she said she'd talk to her, but I told her to stop it. She just kept giving me the cold shoulder for hours now, even though my stepson said nothing about this issue as she claims it to be. My wife said she was trying to be a parent, but I treat her as an outsider to my daughter. That's not true. I might have been harsh on her, but in my opinion she wasn't trying to parent, she was being unreasonable. I might be wrong, I just don't see her point. Am I the butthole here? My wife is an incredibly private person, but that doesn't mean she can get others to follow. To answer your question, the trash can we have has a lid. It's a step-on trash can that doesn't require hands. My stepson isn't even aware of what his mom's talking about. He can barely look around, he always has his phone glued to his face and he doesn't pay attention to anything. My wife said she was trying to be a parent, but I treat her as an outsider to my daughter. She was trying to parent the wrong kid. Daughter didn't leave the used products on the toilet tank or seat. It was in the trash. Wife should use this as a good teaching moment for her son. NTA. And good on you. It doesn't sound like the son actually has an issue with it, just that his mother thinks it might be a problem for him. Which makes this whole situation even more ridiculous. Are those helicopter blades I hear? Yes, seem like a Vietnam helicopter, but I can only be certain when I start hearing "fortunate son." Duck. I can barely hear you. This is insane. Op, please make sure your stepson understands that every woman, almost, deals with this. Even his mom. Speaking of, WTF does she do? Is she some stealthy period evidence eraser? I'm sure his future lady will appreciate it. Dude might want to prepare for plumbing issues. Wife's probably flushing them. Or she might be on a form of birth control that stops her from getting a period. I'm on a birth control pill that completely stops your period. It sounds to me like the mother might have some kind of internalized shame surrounding menstruation, so she may very well just be on birth control whenever she's not having kids. Personally, I just can't be bothered to deal with having a period, but I know a few girls who think that way and got on birth control ASAP once they got their periods. It's kind of sad. That's true. I didn't think of that. I think regardless of even if that's the case, this whole situation is ridiculous in so many ways. Her demands for the stepdaughter and her views on a boy/man seeing period products. It's a normal bodily function. It doesn't sound like her son has a skewed view of that though. Oh, the horror. A 16-year-old boy could possibly learn something about women's bodily functions. If he doesn't know by now that women menstruate, then there is a lot more wrong with the parenting in Op's house than what is in this post. Touché. The only time I ever support women throwing away their used period supplies are if there are pets in the home that are known to be problematic with them. Dogs are especially notorious for it, but we had a cat once that pursued the nasty habit of dragging anything out of the garbage that struck her fancy. No. Cat stayed, garbage got a lid with a weight. Op's wife is just trying to shame her stepdaughter for something she need not feel any shame over. NTA. If need be, teach wife a lesson and make her sleep in the backyard in a red tent. My dog learned how to open weighted trash cans, so once a month the trash can lives on top of the toilet and is emptied daily. It's tragic, but the vet bill for swallowed tampon is even worse. Even more if he gets a girlfriend. A couple of possible implications that are also worth discussing. 1. The mom isn't concerned about her own products being spotted. If she has periods, it's quite possible she's flushing her own, which is a notorious no-no. But to each their own. I know a lot of people choose to do this. I don't really judge, but it's well known you're not generally supposed to and you don't want your daughter to learn bad behavior. 2. It sounds like she only got annoyed after one specific incident. This suggests that she normally sneaks in after your daughter to protect her son from the evidence. Like, is she fishing through the trash and disposing of your daughter's products with whatever secretive method she uses for her own? This should be looked into. It's potentially super creepy. I mean, maybe she just changes the trash bag, which wouldn't be that bad, but she kind of reeks of non-normal behavior, so personally I'd be concerned she might be grabbing things out of the trash by hand and flushing them. Edit. To be clear, I agree menstrual products should not be flushed, and that in nearly all cases when they are, it's something that should not be done. I just feel that as a man who has never had to make this kind of decision, whose personal toilets are not assaulted by this behavior, and who hasn't done much research, it's not my place to come online and judge specific people for it without knowing the circumstances. Like, if someone is away from home and there's not a nearby alternative disposal and they flush in a panic, it's not my place to judge. I agree that in a woman's own home, as in this case, it's hard to imagine similarly extenuating circumstances, but since I have so little experience and have not looked into it very much, I'm not comfortable assuming there's not a situation I just haven't thought of. Maybe this is the wrong forum to come on and recuse myself from judging people. Speaking of which, definitely original poster is not the butthole. I don't really judge. I do. It's not only bad for your pipes, it's bad for the entire system. Also, if the mom isn't concerned about her own period products being spotted, she probably wraps them in toilet paper or the packaging them came in, or pushes them to the bottom of the trash can. You can be discreet in disposing of your used pads without flushing them. Throwing a bloody pad on top of the garbage is gross and unnecessary. That being said, stepmom is super unreasonable in demanding a 14-year-old stop using the bathroom. She can haul her ass to the store and buy a trash can with a lid. Problem solved. Not the butthole. Op says they have a trash can with a lid. Good lord. The wife is just looking for something to bitch about then. Not the butthole. Her son lives in a world in which people who menstruate exist. He's going to have to deal with it. There's nothing wrong with him seeing a box of tampons or pads. I would say if you don't have a bin with a lid, I'd advise getting one. Much nicer for bathroom bins to have lids. Used pads should also get wrapped up in the next pad's wrapper or some toilet paper. Mainly because this stops them from sticking to the side of the bin. Your daughter having her period is totally natural and she shouldn't be relegated to another bathroom because of it. What does your wife do with her products? Hide them? Don't know, but I suspect the drains need unclogging a lot. Maybe she eats them, you don't know. Source of iron, I guess. And, vital cotton. Dietary fiber. I hate you, upvote. Literally made me laugh out loud and gag all at once. You just reminded me of the girl who ate her tampons. Web link. Wait, that's actually a thing? You mean like a popsicle after freezing them? May explain why things needed fixed in the smaller bathroom. Right, WTF. Don't make it weird for the son, it's a fact of life. I don't understand attitudes like this. Yeah, what's the boy going to do when he walks down that aisle in the supermarket? Or sees a TV advert for the latest Tampax tampon, now with Ultra Glide technology? I could understand the mom asking that the daughter wraps the used ones up if they don't already, but that doesn't seem to be the case from the post. OMG, what if he even has a wife or daughters in the future? This woman has some serious issues, and if it bothers her so much, she should empty the trash more often. Suddenly I'm understanding some of the worst guys on this sub, the ones who are offended that their partners ask them to pick up pads from the store, or are furious to find used feminine products in the trash can. I always assumed they were raised by single dads or always had their own bathroom or in some other way just never encountered anyone who menstruates, but this is a good reminder to reevaluate my own biases that women can be the source of misogyny too, and, if original poster is male, also a reminder that men can be good educators on these issues too. Yes, but on the TV you get the ambiguous blue liquid-soaked pad, not the bloody one. For all we know, we have a whole generation out here that thinks women secrete a blue substance every month. Ha ha. Trash can with lid and disposable liners, FTW. Ops comment says it has a lid. Right? God forbid her son opens the trash can and sees checks notes trash in it. I mean, what really goes in the bin if not period products? I know TP tubes and hairballs and cotton balls and Q-tips and whatnot. But the main job of a lined bathroom can is for period stuff. Like, it's the in that first bit of advice you give to clueless college dudes who want to have women over. Put a bin in the bathroom and trim your fingernails. WTF. Is the stepson going through the bin? The stepson isn't, the mom is. No, the stepmom apparently is. She might have gone through the menopause already. Seems like her brain is also on pause. Not the butthole. Your wife is raising her son to be one of those weird dudes who has a gag reflex when he hears the word tampon. I would tell him fine, but I'm taking the toilet paper out because my daughter knows you wipe your butt with it, and that's disgusting. Since I guess we're all being freaks about human body functions. This. Teach your sons early about biology. It happens. It isn't gross. It just is. He isn't going to be scarred by learning about periods, FFS, any more than girls are scarred by learning about penises. I would argue that most women have been scarred by penises or the things attached to them, kind of. One of the biggest points of attraction with my husband is that he isn't one of those guys. I knew my husband was a keeper when he was coming to see me after he got off work. He worked until like 9 p.m., and I was like, okay, this is kind of embarrassing, but could you stop on the way and get me some tampons? And he was like, sure, what kind? I told him and apologized for making him do that, and he was like, why? Do you think the clerk will think they're mine? He knows I'm going to see a girl. How is that embarrassing? You made the right call putting a ring on him. Yeah, I had to lock that down. Smiley face. He's legit the sweetest person I've ever known, and we've been together 17 years, married over 13. I definitely got a good one, and not just due to the tampon thing. But that was my first sign. And I was reminded of this when the pandemic hit and he bought me the mother load of tampons at Costco. He was like, I wasn't sure if it would be like toilet paper, so I just bought the biggest box of tampons I could find. I already kind of knew because a couple years before we got together, we took a trip overseas with a bunch of mutual friends, mostly my friends, but he knew them a little. He wound up rooming with another friend of mine, who happens to be gay. I was like, friend, wants to make sure you're cool with rooming with him. Husband, then friend, why wouldn't I be? Me, well, he's gay and said he doesn't want you to be uncomfortable. Him, what? Am I going to catch the gay from him? Who cares? The friend he roomed with was super happy when we started dating and was like, don't you dare screw it up with this guy, this is a good one. I mean, he's your partner for life. If you run out of supplies, tampons, pads, whatever, a trip to the store should be nothing different than if you need cough medicine because you're sick. Biology is biology. This. My dad was always super weird about it, so I, 26 female, feel weird talking about it to this day. He wouldn't even let my mom write tampon on the grocery list, so she wrote spark plugs. I have no idea why some men have this irrational, disturbing fear of feminine hygiene products. The love/hate relationship toxic males have with vaginas is fascinating and horrible. I have one idea why. They had parents like his wackadoo mother. Now I want to use spark plugs as a euphemism for tampons. Whoops, got to go to the bathroom, spark plug needs changing. NTA periods happen. Everyone needs to calm down and deal. My gran calls tampons shovies and pads mouse mattresses. Mouse mattresses. This is effing hilariously stupid. It's a running joke in our family. We always yell that just because of how funny it is. Started when my grandma wrote it as a joke on shopping lists when my mom married into the family, and she'd write that on there just to prank her a little, haha. Probably saw the used pads. You should clarify that, because if he saw them, it means he went through a trash can in the bathroom till he found a used pad and then proceeded to get traumatized, which means he is kind of crazy. If he didn't saw them, it means your wife thought he went through a trash can in the bathroom, found them, and got PTSD upon sight, which makes her kind of crazy. Then there is the question of where is your daughter supposed to piss and s while the second bathroom is being restored. And last is the question of what does your wife do with her used pads to prevent any form of trauma on your stepson? Does she has a special locked box where he keeps them? An incinerator? We want to know. NTA, by the way. And last is the question of what does your wife do with her used pads? Excellent question, because if she is flushing them, that could cause problems with plumbing, etc. Might be past that age, or using a BC that suppresses periods. Still, just get a trash can with a lid, lady. Op has confirmed the trash can had a lid. So this lady is just out there. What a bonkers thing to worry about. She could be taking them outside to a main trash can each time. Unfortunately, that's an archaic reality some women grew up with. And not even that long ago either. It's still radical for ads for menstrual products to use red liquid. My daughter just started her period, she's 11, and felt embarrassed about throwing her pads away in the bathroom trash, so I bought her some special little scent-proof bags for her to tie them up in so she could feel better about it. Basically, they are like dog poop bags but opaque. I didn't want her feeling like she has to go to the outside bin every time she changes a pad, but I also wanted to respect that she felt uncomfortable throwing them directly into the inside bin, even wrapped in toilet paper. Vanishing spell? She sound like an evil witch, so. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.